Arsenal 2, Newcastle 1. What a game of football. Right, first of all, I'm going to start with the starting lineups. I am going to pay attention to Arsenal starting lineups because it's been a point of controversy recent games now. So I feel like, in my opinion, Arteta listened, decided to take off the handbrake in quotes, started a midfield of Zubimendi at the base, Ebereze and Rice, right? Which to me, in my opinion, is a balanced midfield. Because you have control, you have defensive cover in Rice, who runs box to box, does a lot of dirty work, interceptions, blocks, all the dirty works. I think if anybody who has Rice in their FPL today, you're going to get extra points for defensive work because that's what he's good at supporting the centre backs and all of that. Perfect. Then you have creativity in Eze. We saw how the first half panned out before this Newcastle scored a goal. Arsenal literally had 4 shots on target in the first half before Newcastle put off 1, 4 or 3 before Newcastle put off 1. So spot on from Arteta. Proper and correct starting lineup. And that's how you win games. You have to start the right people, right? So now, from a moment of lack of concentration in the first half, which was Mosquera playing out the ball instead of passing the ball to Raya, because to me, I think he wasn't under a lot of pressure. There was literally, he had the clear right of passing to Raya, but he played it out. Newcastle got a corner. Gabriel went down too easily on their challenge, and their striker, Nick Waltman, scored, right? Good goal, but I felt it was a moment of lack of concentration from Arsenal because they actually left the striker I think there were 2 Newcastle players. Yeah, so they literally left their striker. They left, I don't know, Arsenal lost concentration and left their players 2 against 1 and they got their goal. So after that, Arsenal, I think the momentum dropped a little bit in the first half, but coming into the second half, Arteta removed Mosquera for Saliba. The game stabilized a little. Arsenal tried to create chances. I was very, 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 very impressed with the little combination passes I saw in the box because I could see them trying. There was no space. Of course, Newcastle tried to lock up their penalty area so that Arsenal wasn't going to score. You would see them blocking the lines of passes. But I was very impressed with how Arsenal were able to play a couple of combination passes and create chances in the second half. It was quite impressive. A couple of times, at least one time, I know Gyökeres got a big chance, but his first touch let him down, right? And also on Newcastle's part, I was impressed with what they were able to do on their midfield on the right. I feel like they targeted the right because they wanted to keep Ebereze quiet. They wanted to keep Saka quiet, Ebereze quiet, and they also felt that Mosquera would be vulnerable. So they targeted, that's their left, but which is Arsenal's right. They targeted that right. I could see them overload that place. I would see Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno G there making beautiful passes and creating chances through that right. And I think that was their game plan, which worked and gave them their goal because it was off that right that they got the corner that gave them their goal. They played shots. But now coming back to the second half, Arsenal tried and tried and tried. But one thing we must do, we must give credit to Mikel Arteta for being brave. Mikel Arteta was very, very brave this game because it came to me that he really wanted a goal. Imagine taking out, he had Zubimendi out, brought in Odegaard for Zubimendi. He had Calafiori out because he was on a yellow card, brought in Lewis Kelly for Calafiori, brought in Martinelli, but you could overall see that towards the end, at the ending of the game, the balance of the game was tilting towards more attacking players for Arsenal on the pitch than defensive players. Yes, because they had just about their back 4, and then they didn't have a defensive midfielder on the pitch because Rice doesn't play defensive midfield DM for Arsenal. Rice plays central midfield. They had 2 central midfielders on the pitch, and the rest were attacking players. You have to give credit to Arteta for being brave, and that's what we keep saying. You go to Liverpool, to Anfield, you have to be brave if you want to win. I feel like if Arsenal had played this way against Liverpool didn't stand a chance. They would have won that game. Clearly would have won that game. You have to trust your attackers and you have to take the risk and play your attackers. Trust them, bring them on the pitch and they will score. And it was also a Martin Odegaard assist. Martin Odegaard assist to Gabriel. 2 corners, 2 goals. Newcastle also scored with a corner. So basically the 3 goals in this game came from 3 corners. Kudos to Mikel Arteta. For me, the turning point of this game was his bravery in having more attacking players on the pitch than defensive players. His bravery in bringing in attacking players. He literally had 2 attacking midfielders on the pitch. He trusted Odegaard, put in Odegaard, had Eze, had Trossard, had Martinelli, had Gyökeres. Of course, Merino joins attacks. Everybody knows. And I'm so proud of him. Well done, Arsenal. 2 points behind Liverpool. And let's see how the title race goes on. Newcastle will feel it's a hard loss, but I mean, Arsenal deserved the win. They played better, created more chances, had more shots on target, dominated in every way. So kudos to Arteta, kudos to Arsenal.